Hey everyone. So, the comic book for Jaina's Return has finally come out, and it has some interesting information in it. I thought today we would talk about it, and I guess if you haven't read it yet, then yes, spoilers ahead, and you may not want to watch this. But if you don't care, like I wouldn't, then hi. We're gonna be talking about the Jaina comic. So it starts off with her actually being in there more after wherever she's been all this time. She's just kind of walking around the, ruins of Theramore, and, down on herself and thinking back to all her decisions that she's made, throughout her life. Mostly, leading her father to his death. She seems to think her past self, her empathy for the Horde was I don't think that was her weakness, but of course, after what happened to her, her city and to Kidney, they even illustrate it. It's pretty bad. She still sees that as, her biggest weakness, her regret. It turns out that she hasn't been, sitting in a hole or something the whole time. She's been fighting the Legion alone. As far as aware and what impact she's had, I don't know, but she's been fighting the Legion just like everyone else. She still seems a little unhinged. Her hatred for the Horde still burns quite bright. She still doesn't get that the Horde's actions were that of one, not of the whole as a people. And she probably never will. I think at this point, she's always going to hate the Horde at this point. I think at this point, Anduin's probably our only hope for peace. Which, let's face it, it's Warcraft, it's never going to happen, at least not anytime soon. So, she eventually decides to go back to Kulturas. She decides that it's time for her maybe to go back to her people. Not being stupid, she disguises herself and goes back to Kulturas. And conveniently, they are doing a rally about her, to commemorate her father. Just conveniently, that just happened to be going on that day. And her mother gives, a grand speech about, her father and, the horrors of the Horde and everything. And, actually even mentions Jaina and what she did. And there she discovers she's still pretty hated there. So it was wise for her to come as, disguised herself. Um, it after the speech, she ends up like eavesdropping on a conversation that her mother, Lady Ashvane, and some other advisor of hers were having, where it is suggested that maybe they should rejoin the alliance because the Horde's, aggression, it's, been up again, and they're having issues. But of course, Lady Ashvane, strikes that down, and of course, Jaina's mom also strikes that down, seeing it being a sign of weakness for them to try to, get help so early on. And also, her mom's still mad about the alliance sticking up for Jaina over the Culturians. And so that wasn't going to happen. But it is interesting that even before the the cutscene in Battle for Azeroth, where you return to Culturas with Jaina, that isn't actually her first time there. Just her first time there as Jaina. Also, that there was sympathy for trying to rejoin the alliance in Culturas, even before what will happen in Battle for Azeroth, before we get there. Also in this conversation, she learns that her mother blames herself for Jaina and her pacifist ways, trying to bring peace between the Horde and Alliance. And apparently Jaina's father did not want her to go to Dalaran to study. It was actually her mother that convinced him to let her go. I thought that was quite interesting, and even Jaina didn't know that. She thought it was her father the whole time, that, it was his idea. It wasn't. Of course, after all this, hearing everything that she saw, heard, she does go back to Theramore, the ruins of Theramore, and decides that it would be her mission to try to bring Culturas back into the Alliance and make amends for what she did. And that basically leads us right into the events in Battle for Azeroth. I thought this was an interesting comic. I think I would like to know a little bit more about like what she did during the time in Legion. Like, this is just like one day at the very end of everything, versus like what what she was doing during the events of Legion. Like, I really would like to know more about that. But what we got is really interesting and cool, and I think helps a little bit with development in her story. There are more comics coming. I don't know how many, but maybe one of those other comics might explain a little bit more, like what she was doing in Legion, and like how maybe one of her adventures, helping to fight the Legion that we somehow didn't know about. Like, I would really like to know, like, see like when Argus appeared in the sky, what her thoughts were, you know. I really would like to know that, like, how was it that she saw that in the sky and didn't think, maybe something, you know, maybe Kirator or Anduin or someone might need my help. And yet just decide, nah, it's fine. It's fine. This is just another new planet in the sky. That's it. I would like to see what happened with that. But yeah, that's about it for that comic. I think it's really well done. I think it answers the questions. I mean, for the most part, what she was doing, but like I said, I want a little bit more detail. We might actually get more detail in the new book that's coming out pretty soon. I think in June it comes out. So let me know what you thought about the comic in the comments below, and until next time, bye.